Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my Hartford Whalers franchise mode series right here on NHL 18. And today we get this team set up for the next season. The 2-year rebuild, as it's now known. So far, we're off to a good start. Year 1 was absolutely a success. Year 2, well, we'll have to wait and see. Will we be a playoff team next year? I don't know, but I'm more intrigued by the draft that will occur after that, because that is where we'll be able to do that. A little bit of extra damage. Our team should be set in stone at that point. The core should be locked in, and we should be good to go. However, that doesn't mean that this upcoming offseason won't necessarily be all that important. We're going to have a ton of money to spend. There may be free agents worth getting. So let's get right down to business here and get this show on the road. And our first step is to let go of Neuwirth, Vladar, and Vevalainen. And Novoselicev, I don't know if we'll sign yet, but right now we're still looking okay with Petrolainen and Subban as our 1-2 punch. Of course, Kuhlman will be a goaltender for us. So we are going to need at least one more goalie. We're going to need to sign 2 goaltenders. It just really depends on if there's anybody in the free agent class. Sproul, you gots to go. Connaughton, you gots to go. We'll bring back Bill McIntyre. I'm alright with that. And I'm actually, let's go 1 year, $1 million. Sound good to me. Phil Crosby, we can't let him go anywhere. Of course, Devontae Stevens, you are also on your way out. Emil Johansson, you're on your way out. Of course, most of these players we got rid of, we either signed in the aftermath of getting rid of our entire team, or we had to acquire them when we made those deals. Also, Medvedov, I meant to trade him at the draft. I never did. Hopefully I don't forget to get rid of him. I'm sure I won't. Kahlberg, you are out of here. Martinson, yeah, you're gone. You are gone. For a second, I'm like, is he half decent? No, he isn't. Tursenbaev is another player like that. Hunter Shinkaruk is gone. I'll bring back Max Jones for now, although he is asking for a little bit more than he should. We'll see if we can knock that down to 1.5. We're not doing the 85% trick outright, but still, we'll see if we can save a little bit more money. Matt Laredo is also gone. Kondratiev was the third one of those players we had to get rid of. We'll get rid of McInnes. Sebastian Olsen, buddy. I wanted it to work out, but for now, you are gone. Maybe I'll bring you back as a kind of, not necessarily like a ringer, or maybe a key player for the Connecticut Whale if we don't have enough good prospects to play down there. Couldn't think of the proper term. It's fine. Kosarenkov, Muck? Kosarenkov. Apparently he's a Pokemon. Much like Max Jones, he's not a guarantee to stay on the team at this point, but we'll bring him back for now because he would at least be one of those players worth trading. Spike Rowe, of course, will definitely sign to his entry-level deal soon, but I'm going to wait. We'll get rid of Wanvig, and we're pretty much good to go. I mean, we're going to be, if you factor in the 3 players I have to get rid of, we're pretty much going to be at about 31 contracts. So yeah, it's looking good. Like I said, we have a lot of room, a lot of maneuverability as we head into the upcoming free agency period. Now, Jones did decline, which I'm not too happy about. It's not like he's asking for that much money, and to be honest, we're probably going to have to sign a veteran to a ridiculous deal just to be able to, be cap compliant. But in a way, he's asking for a bit too much money. And the only way we're keeping him is if I can't find a suitable replacement. So I'll give him what he wants for now. He just, for someone with medium top 6 potential, he really didn't pan out into what I thought he could have been. Which might not mean a top 6 player, but I've talked about his attribute, layout. It's not great. He's fast and he can hit. That's it. Good for a 4th liner, you can argue. He has put up goals in the past. But he hasn't turned into what I was hoping he would, of course, when we first acquired him. I didn't expect him to necessarily be a top 6 player, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's take a look. We're moving on. Free agency is underway, and the question is, are there players worth going after? Now, when it comes to goaltending, we don't need a starter, thankfully. It's more a question about prospects. And there's really only one worth signing here, and that is Daumont. The problem is with Maurice Dalmont, he's not good. Like, he's never going to progress. So signing him would simply be signing somebody for the sake of trading them. Which, you know, I'm not totally against. I'm not totally against that. Because he could be our 5th goalie. And then we could just sign somebody starter quality like Chris Dreger for the Connecticut Whale, and they could look to actually be a half-decent team. So, you know what? I think that's what I'll do. Dalmont will be our 5th goaltender this year, and we'll more than likely look to trade him at some point. And we need one other goaltender as well. Will it be Dreger? We could go with Allmark, Vladar. We could look to bring him back. Although, let's just say outright, 2-way deals only. Okay, apparently that limits it to that, which is kind of surprising. Yeah, wow, outright, a lot of these goalies, even minor league starters, are only looking for 1-way deals. So we will go to the 2-way deals here. So Vevalainen could be an option, and is probably the best option, really, as Vevalainen. Or we bring in somebody like Dustin Tokarski. Maybe even a Matt Hackett. You know, I might sign Matt Hackett. I feel bad because whenever I think of Matt Hackett, Sabres fans might remember this. It was a game against the Bruins, and I think he broke his leg. He was taken out on a stretcher. I was at that game. That's my one memory of Matt Hackett, is him being taken out of a game against the Bruins. Not a great memory, really. Damn. Well, that's what I remember about Matt Hackett. So there you go. And we will look to sign him as our AHL starter this year. Aside from that, we're looking at prospects primarily, at least for the moment. Defensively, there's really nobody to sign, so we can just move on from there. But we do have a couple of prospects here. Both low elites, Rollo, and DeRocher. They just had to be of that. That's just that their names had to be French. That's all I'm saying. They had to be French. My struggles are well documented, but those are really the only two worth signing for the moment. So we'll leave it at that. And then forwards, we have a low elite Pierre Boussieres, a low elite left wing that we'll send an offer to. Again, no guarantee that he signs. You got Bissonnette as well, medium top 6, 57 overall, 19 years old. We'll throw our names into the hat on that one. A couple of low top 6s. I mean, I have the contract spots, so there's no guarantee all of these players will sign, and more than likely these players will be nothing more than, as I meant to send out a max deal to him, but that didn't happen. More than likely, these players will be nothing more than trade bait moving forward, but hey, we might as well go for them. Which leaves the big question of, do we go after someone like Nathan MacKinnon? That is the big time question. Now, really quick, if we look at our team, because I've mentioned the fact that this is a 2-year plan, where we're going to have a ton of draft picks moving forward into next year. At the upcoming draft, or at that draft at that point in time, I still have that short list of great players in the league that we could go after. So, looking at our forwards here, we have Leidecker, Patrick, Quick, Sprong, Dirksen. We do need one more player right now for that top 6, and you could argue Dirksen's not going to become a legitimate top 6 player. So you could say we could use 2 players. So if we sign MacKinnon, and then next year at the draft, trade away picks, or, do what we did this past year, get a medium elite and then trade them to get that one extra, true top 6 player. That seems like a good strategy. So I think we're gonna go after Nathan MacKinnon here. And again, like I said, on defense, there's really nobody that can help us. We do need one more defenseman. I'm not saying that we don't need defensive help. We absolutely do. But, I mean, McIntyre and Crosby could be... Yeah, I mean, right now, I don't know if we're keeping Liljegren. So McIntyre and Crosby would probably be our third pairing. So we need a third pairing heading into this year, and we need one more player for the top 6. And let's see, aside from that, so the third line would be Tierney, Brown, Radish. We have Jones, Kosarenkov, Roberts. Not great. Potentially Spike Rowe as well, but we could send him back down to junior, and I probably will. So yeah, we just need a player for the top 6, and then we're going to go with a lot of our younger players. So a third pairing for our defense, and we're going to throw our names into the hat when it comes to potentially signing Nathan MacKinnon. I mean, why not? He kind of fits the, age-wise, he fits the window for when we'd be looking to win. He's 27 years old, entering his prime, 92 overall. He could be a hell of a player for this team. How did he do last year? Ooh, 87 points. Not bad. So this was season 1. He had 50 points. 85, 64, 82, 85, 87. So, yeah, he's done relatively well in the sim. Let's go for it, man. Let's throw our names into the hat on this. Yeah, 5 years is kind of the sweet spot. And again, we have the money to spend right now. I wouldn't want to go too crazy because we'd want it to be a movable contract. But I have so much money to spend right now that we're looking okay. 12 million over 5 years? Just trying to do the math here if you factor in what other players might want. I think, yeah, 12 by 5. I'm good with it. That's a solid number, in my opinion. Hopefully it works out. And then we would need third pairing defense this year. There'd really be no point in going out and acquiring better defensive prospects who might end up becoming top 4 defensemen because we'd eventually have to get rid of them. So let's see here. TVR, definitely an option. Well-rounded player. Of course, I could keep Liljegren. I could. I mean, I'm not saying that's off the table as an option here. Jamie Alexiak, Joel Edmondson. Edmondson's actually pretty well-rounded. Then again, Alexiak is too. Got Griffin Reinhart. It's just a matter of whether or not I want to keep Liljegren. And let's see. So we have Harkins, Tizolino, Provorov, and it's what's his name? The new guy, Appleby. So those are the 4. So the question is, I mean, Tuzolino, all 4 of those guys should have power play time, which means we really don't have room for Liljegren on the power play, which means we're going to go for a very defensive-oriented third pairing. TVR, not a bad option. Santini's a little bit better. Actually, Santini is pretty damn good defensively. Not as good offensively, though. Like, he is a legit shutdown defenseman. And let's see, Alexiak, Joel Edmondson, Reinhardt. I'm thinking either Edmondson and Santini or Reinhardt, TVR. You know what? I'm going to go with Griffin Reinhart and TVR. Jesus, I cannot believe you have the nerve to be asking for that much money. That is unreal. Again, the good thing is I'm going to have the cap space this season, so $5 million for 1 year, that is an absolute, that's a steal on his part, not on mine. And we'll also offer TVR a 1-year deal. And now we get to sit back and wait to see what happens here, whether or not we end up with a Nathan MacKinnon. I should say not what, but I should say who out of the prospects we sent offers to, who ends up signing with us, who declines. We have Costi, Rollo, Bucieris, Bissonnette, Dalmont, DeRocher, Nemeth rejected, Popovich signed, Mikanov signed. So one of those prospects rejected. That is ridiculous. TVR has signed, Reinhardt has signed, Matt Hackett has signed. So we get a trade offer for Victor Arvidsson. Might not be a bad option, but really it depends on whether or not we hear from Nathan MacKinnon, and we should hear right about now. And he accepted. We had the extra money to spend, and it worked out for us. Nathan MacKinnon is the newest Hartford Whaler, and things are looking pretty good. Like I mentioned, it's a 2-year rebuild, but at the end of year 1, things are looking pretty damn good, I would say. Of course, the defense is a little bit rocky. The bottom 6 is going to be very, very uncertain. No doubt about that. But when it comes to what certain players were looking for money-wise, you could argue we could have looked for certain improvements. We still could. I mean, we'll see what we have with Kosarenkov and McConnor Roberts and whether or not we've seen, improvement from those players. I figured I'd give them the extra chance. I could have signed some other free agents, but right now, we'll be patient. We'll see what we have with some of these players. I really should just edit the trade block. Yep, that's what I'm going to do at this point, so we don't keep getting spammed with offers. No doubt we could have made the bottom 6 a little bit better this year through free agency, but I think the better way to approach it is to see what kind of progression we get out of some of our players. If we get no progression, then hey, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best way to go. But I want to see how well Connor Roberts progresses. I want to see if Max Jones gets some sort of, crazy boost here before he turns 26. It's happened before. We'll see what happens. This year, it's not about winning the cup this year. It's after the next season that we really start setting our sights on the cup again. That said, we should be a competitive team this season. Can't imagine that we won't be. I mean, man, we just picked up Nathan MacKinnon. As it is, we have contender status. So really quick, we'll see who we have to sign. We'll see how many roster spots we have, So we're almost at the max contract limit. Novoseltsev, I think we're just going to trade him outright. Defensively, we can sign Stefan Hagelin. The other 3, we'll just trade them for whatever we can get. And of course, forward-wise, we have Spike Rowe that we'll sign. We'll also sign Smithson and Paxpoo. Now, Volchenkov, we'll see. We might not have to sign him. It might not make that much sense. As it is, we might be in a little bit of trouble here because, as we have Champions team status now, we might be in a little bit of trouble here because I might not have the maneuverability that I need when it comes to setting up this team. So let's see. There's our defense. Again, I know that I'm trading Liljegren. And McIntyre actually became a top 6 defenseman, which means he would replace TVR. Oh, man, but you look at his stats. Like, offensively, it's just not there. He's solid defensively, but his overall is where it is simply because of the body checking and the defensive awareness. He's not that good, really. I mean, compared to TVR, much more well-rounded. So, yeah, I think, unfortunately, a former 6th overall pick, he's actually become a legitimate NHL player, but yeah, Liljegren and McIntyre are going. I need to do that right now so that I can go out and sign a veteran to play on the Connecticut Whale, but I have to sign them to one of those max deals so that I can actually set up the team the way I want to set things up. So, McIntyre, I'm sorry, buddy, but it's just not going to happen. I also need to trade Medvedov. Damn it. Well, at least I could do that right now, right? So, Medvedov, Liljegren, McIntyre. To be honest, I can throw Dixon and Natainen into the deal as well. See if we can send them out. Not necessarily to Winnipeg. That could come back to haunt us. Is there an Eastern Conference team with few contracts? Pittsburgh might work. Maybe. Not that we need more draft picks, but let's see what we can do. First round pick. And how about a third round pick this year? What do you say? No. Of course, because we're sending them 2 players for the same role. How about just the first? I mean, could we have gotten more for it? Sure. Are people going to complain about my lack of pick hoarding on this occasion instead of complaining about me pick hoarding? I don't know. We certainly could have gotten more for that deal, but it's not like we gave up anybody that we're really going to miss. I mean, especially in the case of Timothy Liljegren. Not going to miss him at all. So, it's sad to see that era come to an end, but let's get back on track here. McIntyre as well. Sucks to see him go. So, forward-wise, and actually, again, if you look at forwards we could sign, we could bring back Dadonov after all these years. You have Lindbergh, Greer. So there are some players we could sign if we had to. The question is, though, and actually, we are going to bring Dadonov back. As if we didn't give him enough money years ago, we're going to look to bring him back and sign him to a pretty ridiculous deal. And actually, the max deal is $18 million, and I could offer him way more than that. But yeah, we'll go $18 million. We have $30 million in cap space. We just need him to accept. He'll play down in Connecticut this year. He might even be a healthy scratch. Which really, I mean, again, this is just all about me trying to circumvent the cap here and actually have that maneuverability, because right now, as it stands, I can't send anybody down to the AHL. Dadonov has accepted. Welcome back, buddy. It's been a while since you've been a Whaler. I'm sure he's happy to be back, getting paid $18 million. So let's see. The defense is set. Perfect. Oh, Casey Ribeiro. I didn't notice Casey Ribeiro improved either. And I do like his stats a little bit more. 21 years old, medium top 4. Casey Ribeiro just came out of nowhere to steal that spot away from Griffin Reinhart. No doubt about it. We will play Casey Ribeiro with TVR. So there was the chance of the pairing being Ribeiro and McIntyre, which would have been interesting. But again, I much prefer TVR's stats and attributes as opposed to McIntyre's. I mean, again, McIntyre was all defensive awareness and checking. That was it. So, much more well-rounded player there. And then, of course, Ribeiro makes it as well. So that's not too bad. Who can be sent back to junior, though, if anybody, is my question. Nobody. So that's our defense as it stands, which isn't too bad. I did have other players I could have signed, right? Although, to be honest, I mean, like I mentioned, DeRocher, Rollo, whatever, I might as well call him, it's Sylvan's brother. I don't think they'll progress, just because of how low of an overall they are, but, you know, I can let them play just to see what happens. Although, again, they are such a low overall. How good do we want the Whale to be? Let me double check as to whether or not I have any players that I can sign right now on defense. There had to have been medium top 6 players, right? 99% sure that there was. Although, again, do we actually want to sign them? Then again, didn't I just trade him? Yeah, it's just Daniel left. So, yeah, he's... And then there was Dixon. Alright, so we need to go out and sign at least 2 defensemen. And I might as well sign the best players available. Yeah, it will take ice time away from those younger guys, if that's how I choose to set up the lineup. But alright, so let's see here. I can sign whoever the hell I want, who's not going to complain about ice time, though. Andrew Nielsen? Might not. Carl Neal? 27 years old. We have Andrew Nielsen as well. I guess those will be the 2. So sign Andrew Nielsen and Carl Neal for the season. That works. So I'll take care of the defense, like I mentioned. Whether or not we, have those 2 that we just sent offers to be the scratches, or whether or not we, scratch 2 of our prospects. I went to the wrong section. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. And then when it comes to forwards, I should have just gone to roster moves. It would have been much easier, but there we go. We'll go through it that way. Forwards, are we good? Yeah, those are our 12. With Dadonov as the scratch. All right, so let me just double check again for junior eligible players. So we're looking for Canadians. Kosti should be junior eligible. I have to get rid of Kondratiev and Tursunbayev. Menard might not be, but it's at least worth checking. And then Spike Rowe will be junior eligible. Could argue it'd be worth playing him on the 4th line. I wouldn't disagree. Let's see. So Menard and Rowe will go back to junior. Costi will be sent down to the AHL. Let me go trade those other two players here before I forget, just to remove some of the clutter that we currently have with this team. I did not mean to hit over. You would think I wouldn't make such dumb mistakes. But, yeah, it still happens. Alright, and then we'll just get rid of Volchenkov now. Might as well. I mean, he's barely someone who would make this team. We can send all these three to Winnipeg. All three of these players can go to the Jets, no problem. Can I get a third-round pick? Probably. Yep, just for the medium top 9 player alone. So, again, might have been able to get a little bit more out of it. I'm not too concerned with the amount of picks we already have moving forward. It's fine. So, we'll go best lines for the moment. Goaltending is good with Hackett and Kuhlman. Auto rotates on, so Hackett will get the majority of the starts. And then down in the AHL, the defense is fine for the moment. It's just the forwards that we have to worry about. So who's scratched right now? Nilsson, Costi, Smithson, and Paxpoo. Alright, so Nilsson should be traded. Is he actually ours? No, he's not even ours, so that's fine. So Costi, Smithson, and Paxpoo. Smithson and Paxpoo need to be put into the lineup. So who would we take out to do that? And the answer looks to be Evgeny Dadonov for one. Although they are such a low overall. I mean, then again, Smithson's 18, Paxpoo's also 18. Yeah, who would we take out of the lineup here? It'd have to be somebody who's low top 6. Probably Mikanov and Popovich. Yeah, let's do that. We'll take out Mikanov and Popovich. So, Paxpoo, welcome to the team. And Smithson. So again, this is another situation where we could sign some better players to fill the role. But at the very least, we do have Costi, Mikanov, and Popovich as the players to jump in the lineup in case of injury. Dalmon, of course, is the 5th-string goaltender. Kravchenko is under an AHL deal, as is Nilsson. So it's just signing those two defensemen that we have to worry about. And the question is, do we sort it by best overall or best potential? Both seem to work. It seems to alternate between what is actually more effective when it comes to developing talent. So for this season, we will go with the best overall players. As Andrews will be the center there. Serrata will definitely be the center on the second line. Third line. Actually, let's see. No, I'm going to go with Bucieris there instead. Have Bissonnette there. And Bucieris on the left. All right, we're good. So that's pretty much going to be the team this year. Do I expect them to make the playoffs? Hell no, but maybe we can get some half-decent progression. And then once, of course, we sign those two other players, we're pretty much good to go. So the focus changes now to the NHL lineup, which, of course, will have Nolan Patrick play center. We know Quick can play center. So the team is actually... And Dirksen actually became a second-line forward. Damn. So I was saying, at least for this season, he could be there. Just in general, he could be worthy of that. I mean, look at this team. That top 6 is pretty good. You have Lydecker, who's up to a 90 at 20 years old. Again, when you look at player type, Sniper definitely makes sense with 99 offensive awareness. Could argue he'd even be a worthy two-way. With Nathan MacKinnon, no doubt, playmaker or sniper. And then with Nolan Patrick, you could argue sniper. Power forward, not so much. Like, he's not that physical of a player. So I think we'll have Lydecker and Patrick as the snipers with McKinnon as the playmaker. But that's a great top line. Second line, Dirksen. To be honest, I'm probably going to change him to a two-way. It's just he is such a well-rounded player. He is the perfect two-way forward. Phil Quick, brother of Phil Swift. You could argue sniper for him as well. You could argue two-way, which he already is. I mean, he is like the ideal, like, well-rounded player. And then Daniel Sprong, again, you could argue sniper, playmaker. Maybe I'd probably leave him as a playmaker. So, I mean, you could argue maybe having Quick as a sniper to balance with Sprong, but how much does player type really matter? I don't know. And then let's see. Third line here. Fourth line, we're good. Kosarenkov didn't improve at all, which is unfortunate. Radish is still a depth forward. So, looking at this team, again, I told you the bottom six would be a little bit weak. We could improve it. Kosarenkov, the offensive awareness is good. I think we are going to have to make changes here. Kosarenkov's not what I want in a bottom six player at all. Chris Tierney is. I know some people don't get the freaking love story between Chris Tierney and I, but again, you look at the attributes. He is a perfect third line player. Good decent offensively, good defensively, physically. Just a good player for us. Connor Brown, a little bit worse than Tierney in that regard, but still good enough to be on the bottom six. Max Jones, again, it's mainly just the physical and the skating. Defensively, it's not quite there. I mean, you could argue he'd be worth keeping on the fourth line. But, I don't know. Connor Roberts, I'm intrigued to see how he continues to develop. You can see he's decent defensively, decent physically. It's just whether or not the offense comes along. And then Taylor Radish, same thing. That style of player. So Jones and Roberts will keep. I'm going to get rid of Kosarenkov and try to find a left wing who fits that role for the third line. Other than that, this team is solid. Like, this team is going to do some damage this year, in my opinion. Again, the plan isn't to make the playoffs or find any playoff success, but it could easily happen, and you could argue with this team should happen. So let's see, was there anybody free agent-wise who really fits that role, or do we got to look for a trade? You do have Oscar Lindberg, left wing. Decent enough defensively. Not a very big checker, but he could fit that role. So it is nice to see that there is somebody there that kind of fits the bill for what we're looking for. Or I could go out and look to make a trade, which might not be the worst idea. Again, Kosarenkov has absolutely no value. We're going to get rid of Daniel as well. Again, we'll keep Griffin Reinhart for the season. It's not like we're going to be able to trade him with that cap hit, and we need his cap hit anyway to get close to cap compliance. So that works itself out. Question is, can I find what I'm looking for? Can I find a forward who is a third line guy and decent enough defensively? Wow, we have to scroll a long way. I mean, I don't want it to be just like the Montreal series, guys, but the first goddamn team I look at, and there he is. I'm doing it. Like, I'm sorry if I use similar players for similar series, but why would I not? Why would I not? I'm sorry, but it's exactly the player that we need. Should I just sit here and look around for another player only because, I'm using him already in the Montreal series? I don't know. Some people might be bothered by it, but he is exactly the type of player that I was just talking about as far as who we need for this team. The 7th round picks isn't enough to do it. I am going to have to trade away some picks more than likely. Although the possibility of crashing the draft doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. We did a draft earlier tonight on Twitch where we had 20 plus draft picks and it didn't crash, so that was nice. Let's go 4th round pick, our own 4th round selection. Still not that close. All right, well, hey, I'm willing to move some picks to make this happen. I think we'll be all right without this 4th and 5th rounder, and potentially more. I don't blame you for not wanting to give up Philip Deneau. I love him in this game. My ideal third liner for sure. That still won't go through. Well, in fairness, they are being a little bit stingy about it. All right, at least I know Philip Deneau is there, right? At least I know. No, you know what? I have to go out and get him. I have to. We know he fits the role. Screw it, we're getting him. I'll overpay for him, too. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, that's right. We do have... no, Novoseltsev that we can add to this as well. Will that go through now? Still no. All right, well, at least he has a little bit more value than some of the picks. So we'll go, how about 2 4th-rounders as well? Is that enough? Yes, it is. All right. Kosarenkov, again, end of an era. Have fun in Anaheim, but we acquire the perfect third liner, and our team is pretty damn well set up. I love it. Oh, I love this team. So we will go with Tierney, Deneau, Brown, Jones, Roberts, Radish. Bottom 6 is looking better. It just kind of depends on how that 4th line does, really. A little bit nervous about it. And again, I'll have to change some player types just to get people into their proper, so I can go best lines, and that'll set up the power play and everything. But again, I'm loving this team. I mean, right now, when we go best lines, it puts Harkins and Appleby together with Provorov and Tuzolino. That top 4 is incredible. I'm excited to see what Casey Ribeiro can do. And yeah, Petrolainen's up to an 84. That's a great 1-2 punch with he and Malcolm Subban. My God. Very quickly, this team went from, not that much hope once we got rid of Marner and Pasternak and so many others. And that quickly, we are right back into legitimate contention. And we're not done yet as Neal and Nielsen end up signing, or Nilsson. But I did want to show you how many draft picks we have, because it's fairly ridiculous, really. So at this point, how many picks do we have? I mean, we own half the 6th round, apparently. So as it stands, we have Winnipeg's, Dallas's, the Islanders, Arizona, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and our own 1st round pick heading into next season. And we're keeping them. Absolutely. We will keep all of those picks. We'll be good to go. Although, I think I'm going to get rid of the entire 7th round. I'm going to get rid of the entire 7th round. Let's send it all to Ottawa. Yeah, they want the picks too, so that's perfect. And I'll take... How about one 4th rounder probably won't work. No. So we'll try to move up to get 1 5th round pick next year. Which I'm cool with. As are they. So there we go. We get rid of a bunch of those draft picks. And I'm really liking the look of this team, guys. I have to admit, things are looking good. And at the end of next year, when we're 1 year further into it, when we're at this same point after this season, what is this team going to look like? I am beyond excited to find out. It's also, again, a very big season for Warren Dirksen. I didn't think he'd be a top 6 player. He's proving me wrong. He is proving me wrong this year. So the question is, as well, and I'll leave it up to you guys. Do we play these guys right here, Hagelin, Rouleau, and DeRocher, or do we end up putting Carl Neal and Andrew Nielsen into the lineup? What do you think? Because we could easily put them in right now, and then if this team is as bad as we expect them to be, we could take them out for the prospects. Let me know what you think. And that pretty much does it. That pretty much does it. We ended we ended an episode not too long ago in just misery. We were in just nothing but pure despair. I got a smile on my face right now. I am so optimistic for what this team could be this season and heading in to the future. So again, that'll do it for this one. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave the video a like if you haven't already. Do it. You know you want to, and it helps out. Subscribe if you haven't already as well. Of course, that's greatly appreciated as we're approaching 7K, which is still nuts that people watch this. I don't get it, but I thank you for doing so. Links are in the description as well to my Twitter and Twitch. Give me a follow on there. Twitter's good for updates. Twitch if you want to hang out when I'm live streaming, which I stream pretty much every night. Pretty much every night after, usually after like 9 p.m. Eastern time. So, just to give you a general idea. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Take it easy. Sayonara. Goodbye. Adios. Bye-bye. So long. Farewell. Later.